And YouTubers don't know anything. They're not voice actors. They've never been in my industry. They don't know what my industry is about. They don't.
Hi, I'm a YouTuber and a voice actor. Yeah, that's right. Crazy enough, I was actually able to afford this house. I now work full-time as a YouTuber / voice actor, but yeah, voice acting is how I was able to get independent from my 9-to-5 job of being a mover at the time, or, you know, serving, that kind of thing. And let me start off by saying I'm so blessed. I'm so gracious. This is the greatest job anyone could ever ask for. So the idea that these people are just crying like this is such a tough job, it's an interesting, complicated job to a degree, and I love it. It's my passion. But you also need to understand your worth. And so I'd like to go over these people who are talking about, mostly this Karina person, and they are talking about how the voice actors are the most important part of a project. And that rubs me wrong. And by the way, you're not a voice actor if you haven't worked in the last 6 or 7 months, just so you know. This person is calling people, not voice actors, YouTubers, who basically are voice actors. There's like Hero High and Rev Says Deku, who I've seen talking, or Desu, I've seen talking about this, that really basically are voice actors. And hey, they're working more than you, so I don't know what you're complaining about, but let's go ahead and talk about this clip momentarily.
Okay, here's the thing. If voice actors, both non-union and union, in a video game want a game to go union, the game should go union. Nobody else's opinion matters.
No one.
That's it.
And by the way, that's as far as this person goes, and then they're about to call YouTubers not voice actors. That is not it. The self-importance you must feel to be able to be like, voice actors are the only thing that matter. That's ridiculous. As a voice actor, it is my deepest passion. It is the reason that I have a free life. That is awful to say. There are so many layers to get into. Let's just start with the game designers, the creator of the game, the writers, everything. There are so many people whose opinions matter, not only more than the voice actors or actors in general, like a director. Think about it like a movie. The director really matters. The producers matter. Those who are paying you to voice act matter. By the way, Hoyoverse, hit me up, baby. I'm a gracious worker. I never speak ill of my bosses, even the ones that I don't necessarily like. You'll never hear about it. And that being said, there's something to this that people don't seem to realize. Voice acting is just like any other job. I always like to say, when people are like, how'd you get into it? I always say, treat it like you would working as a server, working at McDonald's, working as a mover. I did all these kind of things, and you need to treat it as such, because we have voice actors like this getting all up in their feelings, starting this ridiculous drama, making every English voice actor look bad, and then you have this idiot here being like, I'm so sick over the toilet.
I'm disabled, and I've been
all day. She says that a lot. She has Crohn's disease and arthritis, which, by the way, I have pretty bad arthritis conditions because I have unessential tremor, which makes me shaky and kind of twitchy, that kind of thing. Look, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you. Crohn's disease, sorry, that's bad, but that is no reason to be filming over the toilet. Like, you could film after, you could film before. This is clearly performative, and it's almost like she's an actor lying. Duh!
I'm on
Just
here
look at this.
to tell you guys, hey, for those of you that have
I'm so sick. What an awful voice actor, by the way. That's not even a good sick voice. She looks at her and goes, I'm so sick.
I explained SAG.
And if you watch this full thing, which I'm not going to make you do because I don't want to do that again, it goes on and off. You can tell it's totally fake, allegedly, but it's totally fake. It's so clear she's acting.
Because there's no other voice actors that will. I'm busy.
Look, not too busy.
Toilet every 5
Oh, okay.
seconds.
Too busy.
But also,
Too busy to address any of these issues, and then makes a 4 to 5 minute long video about how busy this person is. Too busy to respond to your questions about anything. And this drama is so ridiculous because, look, I don't hate the union. I personally am not represented by the union, and there's a time where when I was like in Philly and stuff, I could have worked towards doing that, but it doesn't lead to enough work for independent voice actors, just honestly enough. I would not make it. The top of the union does really well, but there's a whole spectrum there, and I personally actually do better just being independent and doing things like that. And when I was full-time voiceover, that was how it is. Now I've mixed YouTube into it for finances, but that's the thing, is I know my place, and I know that there's no way that I'm big enough to only do union work. I've been lucky enough to be in a couple of union projects, this kind of thing, but even still, I know that if it was like, you have to be union, right? Like when you sign up for a project, I would probably have to politely decline, and it's not because I never would want to join the union or I hate the union. It's because I'm not nearly big enough to do that. I would be really screwing myself. And I also do a lot of work in other countries. I've done work for the South Korean government. Like, you can hear my voice in the airports and stuff. It's so fun to see what you can do independently when you're, you know, a newer voice actor really making your way. And so that's personally the route I chose to go and what I think is the best idea. And this person right here, just the ungrateful.
They have more incentive.
Listen to this person, and they're calling YouTubers liars. They don't have more incentive to lie, actually, just factually. Again, you would have more incentive to actually be dishonest in the case that you were to, like this person, have more at stake, depending on what the answer is in general, right? So I just wanted to discuss this one a little bit because I've been seeing people say, well, you're not a voice actor, you're not legitimate. Well, as a guy who actually bought a house thanks to voiceover, lives a wonderful day-to-day life, these are my thoughts and opinions. And again, it's a job. If you don't do your job for 6 months, guess what? You're gonna be fired. If you went to your McDonald's job, right, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna be here for 6 months, and came back, you think you're gonna have that job still? Or again, any job. I just go back to service because I did it for so long, but any job. That's not how it works, okay? So let's just cut the BS for everyone who's trying to, you know, to check and be like, well, voice actors, you're not a voice actor, you know. I am. I have done mostly commercial work. Again, not nearly as much video game and animation as I'd like. But that being said, I make money doing it. It is literally my job, technically. So that's where I'm at. That's what I believe. But thank you very much for watching, my friends, and I will see you in the next video.